Making a budget is vital for anyone who wants to make a good plan for their money. Creating your budget and sticking to it is an excellent way to reach your financial goals if you want to save for a vacation or just stop living paycheck to paycheck. In this video, we discuss budgeting and 15 things to consider when making and using a budget plan. When making a budget, here are a few things to remember. But before we start the countdown, it would be great if you would subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Let's get started. 1. Make a list of your goals. Before making a budget plan, you need to figure out what you want your budget to do. For example, do you want to avoid spending too much, or do you want to save up for a big trip? Clear goals and timelines will help you figure out how to make and use a budget. 2. Choose a way to make a budget. There are different ways to make a budget, and knowing which works best for you and your needs will help you succeed. Some ways to create a budget are zero-based budget. This method for making a budget is to get your budget to zero after you take out your expenses and add back in your income. Then, any money left over is saved or used for something else, so you don't have extra money to spend. Envelope system. For this type of budgeting, you use cash to pay for everything. With the envelope system, you decide how you'll spend your money each month and put that amount in the proper envelope. Then, you only pay for things with the cash in the envelope. For example, you would use the money in your grocery envelope when you go grocery shopping. If your envelope runs out of the money, you can't buy anything in that category until the next month. Spend money on yourself first. This way of making a budget puts the most weight on paying off debt and saving. Using this method, you'll set aside a certain amount of money every time you get paid to pay off debt and save. Then, the rest of your money can be used however you want. 50-20-30 budget. This type of budget divides your expenses into 3 groups: expenses you have to pay for, expenses you can choose not to pay for, and savings and debt repayments. You spend 50% of your budget on things you have to buy, 20% on savings and paying off debt, and 30% on things you want to buy. 3. Use a template to make a budget. Countless budgeting templates can be found online to help you make a budget. People who are new to budgeting will find these tools very helpful. Most budgeting templates have categories for expenses that most people have. You can print the template, use it, and keep it with you each month. 4. Prioritize your expenses. Some costs are more important than others. Food, a place to live, and transportation are all examples of necessary expenses. Once you have a list of these in order of importance, you can make a budget for things you want but don't need. 5. Get out of debt. Paying off debt is a big part of making a budget that works. There are many different ways to deal with debt. However, the more debt that you have, the harder you must work to get rid of it. 6. Write down everything you spend. When making a budget, it's essential to keep track of every expense, even if it seems like a lot of work. That's the only way to get a clear picture of your money and where you can save. Of course, you don't have to keep track of your expenses forever, but it's good to write down every expense for a month or two. Then, once you know where your money is going, you'll be better able to set aside the amount you need to cover these costs and find places where you can save money instead of spending it. 7. Look at how you spend your money. Like keeping track of your spending, analyzing how you spend is vital to making a reasonable budget plan. For example, if you often buy things at the last minute or spend money on things you don't need, you might want to think about how you spend your money. For example, spending $5 a day on coffee comes out to about $150 a month. If you make coffee at home, you can easily save money on this cost. Knowing your spending weaknesses gives you power when making a budget, giving you more money to spend overall. 8. Plan when you will spend money. You can pay bills on a specific date each month. For instance, you could decide to buy groceries every Monday and pay your bills on the same day every month. Putting your spending on a schedule gives you more control over where your money goes and lets you know what you can expect to spend. 9. Make a section in your budget for other costs. Unexpected costs will always come up, so it's important to plan for them. By setting up a miscellaneous expense account, you can make sure you have money on hand for things like a flat tire or a home repair that came up out of the blue. It also ensures that you don't go into debt or have to use money set aside for something else to pay for these costs. 10. Use cash instead of cards. You don't see the money when you use a credit or debit card to buy something. This can make it easy to spend more than you need or buy things you don't need without realizing it. When you pay for things with cash as much as possible, you can see the money you're spending and know exactly how much you have left after the purchase. 11. Automate your savings. It's not always easy to save money, especially if you're starting out. People are often much more likely to spend money now than to save it for the future. Instead of relying on yourself to save money, set up a set amount to be transferred to a savings account every week or month. Saving money automatically removes the guesswork and lets you put money into a savings account without thinking about it. 12. Use savings resources. There are many budgeting and saving tools that make it easier and smoother to manage your budget. For example, you could use an app on your phone to track your spending or create a budget right there. After making it, all you have to do is open the app to check your progress and make notes about where you need to improve. 13. Get rid of your credit cards. Getting rid of your credit cards is a great way to pay off debt while sticking to a budget. Some people shred their credit cards or put them in a drawer so they can't use them when shopping. If you don't have your credit card when you want to buy something, you're more likely to think about it and decide if you need it. If you need it, buy it with the money you already have instead of taking on more debt. 14. Be realistic. It can take a while, weeks or even months to start implementing a reasonable budget plan. It's hard to make a budget if you've never done it before. Be honest about your goals and be kind to yourself if you overspend or make a mistake. With more practice, you'll improve at making a budget and learn the habits that cause you to spend too much and how to stop them. 15. Look at your budget often. The budget can change once a month or even once a week. For instance, during the holidays, many people want to spend more money on things like gifts and decorations. Also, your income can change, so going over your budget often ensures you know about these changes and take the necessary steps to make them work. So, that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed the video. Use the comment section below to tell us what you think about the video. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of all the latest videos.